Prioritize what you need to get done and get that done.
We jam this into our students, like we do yabber on about this, but your product, I don't care who you are, what you sell, what you think your product is worth, whether you, I don't know, live in the ground, live in a cave or whatever, like your product has a purpose for someone. It solves a need. I know this is going to rattle some feathers and I'm debating whether to say it or not, but you know what?
Oh, do it. We love a good
we love a good controversy, but
yes, that's the word.
Welcome to the Handmade Bosses show. I'm Steph and my mission is to help you start, run and scale an online handmade business and build a creative life you love. I went from being in a 9-to-5 that I absolutely hated to running my 6-figure handmade business in less than a year. So bosses, let's help you get your amazing products out there and get the sales you deserve.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Handmade Bosses show. I'm here with Sophie.
Hi guys.
Hello. We are going to try and make this one a little bit shorter because our episodes up until now have been quite long. So we're going to try and make it shorter. I know I do say that about my lives and I don't ever do it, but we're going to try. So today we're going to be talking about mindset shifts for different levels of success. All right. So we have got 3 points each that we're going to go over, all talking about mindset shifts and how to make those shifts. And then we're talking all about all the good stuff. So do you want to kick things off?
Let's do it.
Whoop, whoop.
So, mindset. Just got to determine everything about your business and your success, right?
Uh-huh.
It's like if you go out and be like, I just want this to be my hobby on the side and I'm happy doing that, you're never going to grow. You're never going to be successful. You're never going to have a full-time handmade business. But on the other hand, if you are like, this is the passion that I want to do, I want to quit my job, I want to provide for my family, you're going to bloody do it because you've got the mindset. So, yeah. But, and also the biggest thing, I think, as well, when we're starting out, because we don't know how good we are, because it's only our family and friends that tell us, like, oh, yeah, I really like that. Could you make me one? Until we are, like, selling to other people and people are constantly buying from us and giving us reviews, we don't really know how good we are. But you are you. There's no one else. There's only one you. No one else can do what you can do. There's millions of printmakers. There's millions of people who sell jewelry like you, right, Steph?
Yeah. But
nobody can do it exactly like you do it.
Exactly. I get quite a lot of comments saying, it's, you know, it's all right for you because you aren't in a saturated niche. And I'm like, have you seen how many jewelry shops there are on Etsy? Like I am in the most saturated niche.
I would say jewelry is the most saturated market.
It is. But I kept my little blinkers on and I only took them off when I needed to, you know, assess the kind of market picture as it was, to like look at new products and marketing and stuff like that. Then after I did that, I was like, look, let's put those back on, let's stay in my own lane. I think a lot of people, the only time when this becomes a problem is when people start to look at the competition, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. Because then you get that, I'm not good enough. Look how many followers they've got on Instagram. Look how many sales they've had. And I don't do that. They are completely different. Even if they are exactly the same as you, they are not you. They are completely different. No matter if you sell the same things, you are different. They can't do it like you do. They don't have the same branding as you. They don't have your personality. And that's why people come back to a brand. It's for you. That's why people follow you on Instagram, for you, for your personality. So forget about everyone else, as hard as it is, and just focus on you.
Your differences are your strengths, and you've got to play to your strengths.
Yeah.
To really put that in a nutshell. But yeah, you know, you do what you do, filtered through years of your brain, what you've thought, what you've seen. Exactly. It's, you know, and no one that copies you, again, moving on to that, is ever going to have that. So really, I think in a nutshell, you've got to be focused on you and really start to like cut yourself some slack when you're looking at other people in your niche and be like, oh, but they sell the same as what I do. It doesn't matter. Yes, it's a good idea to have a USP so that, you know, when people look at, you know, those two shops, they have an idea as to what makes you different. But even if you don't, I mean, how many companies are there that sell nail polish?
Yeah.
Face cream, perfume? What makes them all different? I mean, nail polish, right? I mean, nail polish is nail polish. How different can you get? But yet there are still people that are like, I'm going to stick to one brand. And when you ask them why, it's like, I don't really know. I just like this brand. It sounds nice.
Yeah. I'm the same with soaps though. I have, like if I ever have a breakout, I always have the same tea tree soap from a lovely lady that I met when we did a handmade fair years ago, and I will only use her soap. And even it's handmade, it costs slightly more. I could buy a £1 soap from Asda the next time I go. I could do that, but it's not going to give me, like, even when it comes through the door, it smells of her business, and it smells so incredible. And every time I use it, my skin feels so amazing afterwards. Oh, she's just brilliant. So, and that's like, you can scrimp and scrape on other things, right? But there's certain things in life that you will pay extra for, and I will pay extra for her soap for the rest of my life. Like, she's not going anywhere. She's not allowed to quit. I will find where she lives and make me a lifetime supply of soap. She's not going anywhere.
She's not allowed to quit. I like that.
Not that she wants to, but she just can't ever do it. Do you hear that though? I used to get like a foundation from the Body Shop, and they discontinued it because I'm very pale. I was like, that's the only one I can use, and they ruined my life.
I'm the exact same. I'm always like the palest shade. Like, I can't use Rimmel, L'Oreal, because it's like the palest shade is still too dark. I use number 7 because they do that thing where they like check your skin tone, and I use like this.
What's this?
Well, you know, they got that thing.
Poke you.
They poke your face, and then they go, yeah, that color. They just do like some Yoda mind trick and go, you're that color, and then that's might as well be a Yoda mind trick. But yeah, that is what I use if you're stuck, or if anyone out there are as pale as we are, because So my next point is that you're not going to be the same person that you were month by month by month. I think a lot of us get into business with this mindset of, I'm just going to get things up to a point where nothing breaks. I'm just going to like do it so that it runs on its own. And whilst you can certainly do that, and in the last episode, or a episode that we filmed, we talked about like how, like, what to invest in your business, and this kind of like came up there. Like, it's very much like, you're never going to get to the point where your business just is fine, it doesn't break, nothing like that. You're never going to be the same person as you were the month before, depending on how fast you grow. I mean, especially in Handmade Bosses, like, we're a completely different business every single month, right? I mean, you can attest to this, because it's like every single month we're having to redo something because something is broken, because, you know, you grow so fast, right? And I think that, again, things are going to break as you get bigger. Things are going to break. So an example of this, completely off the top of my head, but let's say that you're using the free version of MailChimp, and then you find that your Instagram account starts to pick up speed. You start doing lives on your Facebook page, group, whatever, and then you find that you hit like the 2,000, 3,000 subscriber limit, and then all of a sudden everything stops ascending, because you're like, you've hit the limit, you need to put in a credit card and actually pay to use MailChimp. But it's a very low level example, but that's just an example of how things break as you grow, right? And you need to be at a point where you're foreseeing that happening. It shouldn't creep up on you. You should kind of like plan for that well in advance. That's what I've always done, is that I've always looked ahead and kind of gone, okay, so if we, you know, because obviously you guys are probably setting goals, and if you're not, you should be, but like every month you've got like an order amount that you want to take, and like look ahead and be like, in 6 months time, if I want to triple my orders, what do I foresee breaking? Like, just like imagine yourself in the future, how you are now in the business that you've got now, and be like, how am I going to withstand triple the amount of orders, right? In like 6 months time or 3 months time or whatever, how fast you're, growing. But I just think that it will do you good to look ahead and be like, what do I foresee breaking? Is just one way that you can, because when you say to people, things are going to break and your business is going to be different, they always panic. They're like, oh my goodness, how do I prep? And it's like, well, the only way you can do it is just by thinking ahead, looking at your goals. And if you hit those goals, what do you need to do?
Yeah, but a thing that's happening right now for me is the 6 weeks holidays are literally next week. And I am petrified. You know how much I don't like the holidays, but we won't get into that. That's a different episode. But to plan, obviously they come around every year. You know they're going to happen if you've got children at school.
Yes.
You're going to have how many kids you've got in your house while you're trying to work. And then the guilt sets in that you're not spending enough time with them, but then you need to weigh up the options of, well, I need to earn a living to feed them. So yeah, it's a hard one. But like I say, plan in advance, you're going to be fine.
I think plan in advance, but you're never going to get it. You're never going to hit the nail on the head every time, because things are going to break that you didn't think would break, and things are going to be okay that you thought would break. So really, I think in a nutshell is that you're going to have to be a different person every single month in your business, which also comes with its own little set of life lessons and business mistakes and all that kind of good stuff. In fact, recently what I've begun to do, and I don't know why I haven't done it before, but I've actually written like a little document with like lessons. That's all it's called. And it's literally stuff that's gone wrong and 3 things that I have learned from it. Because every time that something breaks, then you can go back and be like, right, what did I learn from this? So it always worth having a little document written up so that you can reference it.
Mine would be like a full roll of wallpaper.
Well, mine would be if I started this like 5-6 years ago, which I should have. I only started this like a couple of months ago, and it's already like 3 or 4 pages long. Yeah. Depending on how stressful your week is how many things are going to be on that list. But
yeah, well, that takes me on to my next point, because I think sometimes you can get so overwhelmed with business that I'm guilty of this. I don't know if anyone else is, but when I get overwhelmed, I don't do anything.
Yes.
And I sit there and I can sit and stare at my computer and be like, that list is ginormous. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to go clean the house. And I avoid it. I'm really terrible at that. And I was talking to a group that I'm in, and I said, when I get really overwhelmed, I don't do anything. What do you think that is about? And they said a really good thing, that because it's all mindset, I should just, pick something and tackle it, right? But they said this really great thing, and I wanted to share it with you. And they said, what are you neglecting your customers from by not doing that task? So like if you've got a course, say, like in your example, you're neglecting your customers by not giving them that course that they can learn from, that they can grow their business from. In my example, I wanted to release a new range of prints, and I was like, this is just going to take ages. I've got to do all the photographs, listing, batching, like descriptions, SEO research, all that. I don't want to do it. And then this lady said, but you're neglecting your customers by not giving them prints that they've asked you to create. And I was like, that is a complete mindset shift, because I've never thought that I'm doing them a disservice by not giving them my product. And that could apply to the lady who does my soaps. She would be neglecting me if she didn't do my soaps.
If you don't make my face, I'm going to come hunt you down.
She is neglecting me if she doesn't bring out that soap. So what are you neglecting your customers from by not making your product?
Do you know what? I think that's such a good mindset shift for all aspects, because you're switching it from I'm getting something from the customer, just get that mindset, and we could go deep on this, raising your pricing and the guilt that you get with that, releasing new products and the guilt you get with that, posting social media and the guilt you get with that. Instead of thinking of it as I'm trying to get something out of the customer, i.e. money in exchange for a product, switch it round. Be like, I am giving this, and we do talk about this in the course actually, like you're giving them a solution to their problem, right? Yeah. So you're basically saying to them, you have this problem, which is, you know, like for your prints, it's like you've just moved into a house and the walls are bare. You want to put your own stamp on it, but you're not about to go and paint like a whopping great mural on the wall because you have to paint over it in 2 years' time when you think it's ugly. Yeah. But if you're not releasing those lines of new prints, then you are taking that away from a potential person that needs that in their lives. And I think we've, you know, we jam this into our students, like we do yabber on about this, but your product, I don't care who you are, what you sell, what you think your product is worth, whether you, I don't know, live in the ground, live in a cave or whatever, like your product has a purpose for someone. It solves a need. Okay. And if you're not bringing the product to market, or you're not raising your pricing so you can stay in business, or you're not, you know, telling the world about it through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever else the heck there is out there now, like you're not doing a service to your customers.
Yeah, you
like,
are neglecting them.
You're taking it away from them. Think of your customers like one of those little Tamagotchi things that you used to have as a kid.
Yeah.
And if you don't feed them, i.e., you know, then they're gonna die.
A bit drastic.
It's a bit drastic, but you get my point. I'm sure if you can get your face soap, you're going to be crying, running around Boots trying to find another face soap.
But then how much more expensive would that be? Trying like years of trial and error again to get the right thing that she could just make me that works.
Yeah. And you know, again, and I know I'm going off a bit of a tangent, but it's a good tangent, and that relates back to the pricing. Like, it kind of, you shouldn't price on what you think your product is worth. Like that is the mistake people make, and we can talk about pricing in a completely different episode. But you should be pricing on the value that you add to a customer's life based on the problem or need that you solve. Yeah,
absolutely. Because like in my example where I can go to Asda and buy a pint of milk, or I could,
a pint of milk on your face.
It's because I think the milk's gone off.
Oh no!
And my coffee was a bit this morning.
You can't make tea.
I could go get. No, I need a coffee.
No,
I could go get soap from Asda. Soap. But I don't want to. I want to go and get soap from the lady who makes my face feel like it's bloody incredible. Yeah.
Like it's baby's butt soft. That's what you want.
Yeah,
I just have this image of you throwing milk on your face now. I don't know why.
Well, it's because I'm absolutely gagging for a proper brew.
I bet people that aren't from the UK listening are like, what?
What is this? But come on, you've got to have a hot drink.
Yeah.
That would mess with my mindset.
And that is how Sophie gets her mindset in gear.
Buckets of coffee.
Buckets of coffee. Okay, what's your next point?
You don't have to do everything every day. When we set out in business, you think I've got to do this and this and this and this, and I'll never grow if I don't do X amount of things on my list. You're going to burn yourself out. You're going to become unwell. We know that. We can talk about that in a different episode. Don't think you can do everything every day, because you will have a list to do. We've all got the list to do where it's like 7 pages long with everything that we need to do for social media, Etsy, your own website, emails. You get the picture. You can't do everything every single day. Just take your priorities you recommend for in the academy. Get them done. Get them done.
We have been having some great conversations so far on today's episode, but I've got something even more special for you. You know what it takes to be shown on page 1 on Etsy, right? Yep, you guessed it, increasing your conversion rate. My 3-step framework to skyrocket your Etsy conversion rate is my signature free masterclass. And boss, I'm saving a spot for you. Learn how to increase your conversion rate in 3 easy steps, as well as the top 3 mistakes I see Etsy shops make on a daily basis. Sign up in the show notes or head to handmadebosses.com/conversion. That's handmadebosses.com/conversion, CONVERSION, to claim your spot. Now let's get back to the episode, and I can't wait to see you there, boss.
And you'll be much happier. If you are constantly overwhelmed and stressed, you'll never do anything. It'll be like me, where I'll just be like, I've got too much to do, I'm not going to do anything. Prioritize what you need to get done and get that done.
Yeah, and start off with the small tasks first. It's like when you're when you walk into your kitchen and there's like red spatters everywhere and there's grease marks everywhere and there's like pots and pans in the sink waiting to be washed up and the floor's dirty and the dog has kicked their bowl of water all over the floor, which my dog does frequently. And you just look at it and you just go, nope. And you just like walk straight out the room again. Yeah. Like, just start with the small things, mop up the water first, and then start cleaning the side. And then maybe you'll even tackle the pans, but it starts to get you rolling if you do the small things first.
And you start seeing real results as well, don't you? It's kind of like, it's satisfying to watch. You know, like when you've got a really dirty room and you clean it, you're like, God, this is satisfying. Really different. That's what like tackling your to-do list is like. Start off with the little one. By the time you finished it, you've got like a full chunk that you've tackled, and it's so satisfying. Yeah.
No, I do completely agree. And I think as well that hire experts if you can't do it. Because when you reach, sort of if you're earning 2-3K a month from your business just being that'll do or that's okay, it's not going to cut it anymore. There is a certain kind of bracket of time where, I'd say it's more eyeballs coming into your business. There's like a certain bracket where you can afford to pivot and change and alter things and test things, all that good stuff. But when you get to a certain kind of like bracket and you get over, I would say if you're earning more than like $1,500 or pounds a month, maybe even if you like round it up to 2K a month from your business, then is the point where you're like, okay, I am getting eyeballs on this business now. I cannot afford to start pivoting, changing. So that's why when you first start out, that is your chance to test change, because, it would be really, really weird if like Lush all of a sudden was like, you know what? We're going to change our branding to bright white and clinical, lights and stuff like that. Yes. Because you'd be like, what the hell? Like, what is going on here? And you'd walk in and probably immediately walk straight back out again. And that's the same in your business. You can't keep changing things once you start to get to that mark. So it may be, when you're starting to get to that point, that you then start to hire experts for things like the branding, logo, website, all that kind of stuff, so that you're getting to that point, you're passing that mark in a flawless way, rather than getting there and being like, I need to like go back and do things.
Yeah, definitely. $1,000,000%. But that goes on to my next point though, where you've constantly got to develop yourself and learn new skills. You can't stay, like you said at your first point, where you're going to be different each month. You need to invest in yourself as well, where you start out and you're like, I know what I need to do, kind of. And there's only so many YouTube videos that you can watch.
Yes.
But if you are serious about something, take a course on it, learn, develop. Like, you're never going to get anywhere if you just stay statutory.
Yeah.
You need to keep going. Like, you're the best asset in your business, right?
Yeah.
You've got to look after yourself.
Yes.
You've got to learn and grow.
Yeah, no. And that's why the course is so big, because it's everything, isn't it? It's everything that we can give you to give you the best kind of like chance. And I think that is why, we give you everything that you need, so that you're not kind of going into things and having to take different courses to learn different things and all that kind of stuff. And that's why it is so big, because you're going to be different at every stage, and we literally take you from point A to point B.
The people who are working through like phase 1, by the time you get to the end of phase 1, you'll be different from where you started. And by the end of phase 2, you'll be different again from when you started phase 1. It's so good.
there's plenty of little Etsy courses out there, not even Etsy courses, but little courses out there that, yeah, okay, they'll like teach you how to make a logo and make your brand pretty, but they're not going to teach you everything else that goes around that. I could rattle on about this for ages, but I'm not. But do you know what I mean? It's not just one piece of the puzzle. And if you're really good at one piece of the puzzle, you're not going to be so good at another piece of the puzzle. And therefore you need to invest in learning. And that doesn't mean reading blogs, watching YouTube and stuff like that, because people will only share the basics. They'll never share like the real in-depth stuff, because you can't on like, you can't upload a 2-3 hour YouTube video to like explain all this, because people will just drop out. And also it goes with the whole value thing, is that if you're getting info for free, you're probably not going to put it into place because you don't value it.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
So I think, my next point is something that is a little bit different, but you set the boundaries for what you put up with. And I know this is going to rattle some feathers, and I'm debating whether to say it or not, but you know what?
Oh, do it. We love a good
we love a good controversy, but
yes, that's the word. Yeah,
controversy.
Go on, I'm invested.
She's leaning forward, she's on her hand, she's ready for it. You set the boundaries for what you put up with. So if you are complaining about a customer doing something or saying something, it's because you enabled them to do so.
Yeah.
You didn't put the boundaries in place.
Yeah.
So if you have that customer who's messaging you like 9:30 on a Friday night, and you're like, go away, I just want some time. And they message you again, and then again, and then again. And by the time Monday morning rolls around, you've got 25 messages. Now, we've all had that customer. Don't even try and tell me that you haven't had that customer, because we've all been there. Yeah. But it's because you have let them do that. You've not set the boundaries. You've not put you can do an automatic reply on Etsy, can't you? Which you could put in something like, these are my working hours. I will endeavor to get back to you as soon as I can, within 1 to 2 working days. Yeah. Quite easy, 1-2 click done. Or you could even put it actually on your shop announcement, in the listings themselves, any one of those places. But if you haven't done that, then you kind of can't complain, because you've not set the boundaries in place.
But you can do that as well on Facebook and Instagram, to set up an automatic reply and say, like put an out of office on a Friday. If you're going away for a week on holiday, a week or two, and you haven't put your shop on holiday mode, or your social media still looks like it's active, and you haven't told your followers that you're going away, and then they come into your DMs and you're like, oh, I really want to buy X, Y, and Z, and it's just ignored. When you get back in a week, they're going to be raging. Yes. So put that in place now, a week or so in advance, saying, I'm going away at the end of the month.
Yeah.
If you need anything, get in touch with me now. I'm going to stop these orders on X date. And then have that automatic reply. I'm sorry, I'm away this week. If you need me urgently, here's an email address. Or I will reply to you in, a week. But then they know then what they're expecting. They know, like, oh, she'll get back to me Monday, a week later.
It's like Christmas time, when you get the people who are like, oh, I've had someone like the 19th of December ask me if it will be with me in time, and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, well, you are going to severely cut down messages like that if you make sure that you're putting X, Y, Z shipping times. I know, because I stalk you guys. I know that a lot of you choose to skip that step. I'm looking at you. And that is the reason why you do get people being like, I ordered this on the 22nd of December. I'm in the USA. I'm in Canada. I'm in wherever. Yeah. Why isn't it with me yet? So I just think setting boundaries for what you are prepared to put up with. And if you're getting the itch to post in a Facebook group or just moan about it in general, then you really have to ask yourself the question, because we're business owners, we have to take responsibility for our own business. You've really got to ask yourself the question, what things have I put in place? What boundaries have I put in place to stop this happening again in the future? And if the answer is, well, nothing, then it's just going to keep happening.
Yeah. And a lot of things that I've discovered as well is some customers will come to me and say, can you make me this print? And it'll be a screenshot of a different printmaker.
Yes.
And I'm like, just go to them. They can do it because that's exactly what you want. You want me to do it. So I think having like a snippet or a picture in your photographs or somewhere in your description that says, I will not copy other makers' designs. If you want something, ask them, because that is really annoying.
Yeah. Because if they're doing it to them, they're probably doing it to you as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And I just think, I hate, like, have you ever been to a fair and they'd say, oh, I really like this, and a friend will go, oh yeah, I'll make you it. I can.
Oh my God, yes.
And you just want to like reach across the table and not hurt them, because that would be nasty. But do something. Really, like, I'm a real person. It's there. Buy it. You don't have to have your friend to make it. It's not like absolutely naff. Buy it. Stop being tight. Stop being ridiculous. I'm getting very angry.
Oh, I've had the exact same, but the same people that say, oh, you know, we can go and get this stuff and we can make that ourselves. 3 months later, they're going to come back to you and go, help me, I can't make it. And they're going to realize how complicated it is to actually make it. Everyone thinks they're an expert until they're not. Yeah.
See, I don't want to bake a cake. I couldn't think of anything else worse than to bake my children's birthday cakes.
I know cakes.
I know a lot of mums are like, that's their thing, that they always make their child's birthday cake. Couldn't think of anything worse. Like, let me take you down to the supermarket, or I got a friend who's just like brilliant at making cakes, and she made it because I just don't want to do it. If I'd made the Paw Patrol cake for my child's 3rd birthday, it would not look anything like how Sarah made it. She made it so good. Mine would just look naff. Just get someone else to do it. They're better.
Expectation versus reality.
Yeah, it would. I kind of want to give it a go now, just to do like an expectation versus reality, because it would be horrendous.
No, I mean, I was that kid where my mum would always make my cakes, and I was Barbie obsessed when I was about. See, I went from Barbie, and then I went the very next year, I went complete tomboy and was into. I don't know if you guys remember that, you know, Budgie, the little helicopter. Do you remember the little helicopter guy that used to? No, okay. That's just me then. I went from like girly girl to tomboy to now somewhere in between. But I remember like going to Asda's and seeing like this really lovely Barbie cake. I was like, Mum, I want a Barbie cake each year. And she's like, oh, but I make your cake each year. And I'm like, no, spend the money. I want this Barbie cake, like bratting out in the middle of Asda's, which is basically Walmart. And my mum, and now I look back, I'm like, I love the fact that my mum used to make my cakes. But when you're like 5 and you see this cake and you're like, I want that cake. I don't want you to make it. I want that cake.
Yeah, this is it. And just get someone to do it who can actually do it. If somebody's selling something and you go, I really love this, buy it. Don't ask your mate to make a knockoff version. Gosh.
But also that's another mindset shift, isn't it? Like letting things go, letting people go.
Yeah. And I get going back to your other point, where these customers that would absolutely drive you insane. I would go out of my way a while back when I was like first doing it. I'd be like, oh, these customers want this and this and this, and I'd like do everything that they wanted to do. And now I'm at a point where if you're winding me up and you've sent me 30 messages, see, now I'm going across as really nasty, but I'm not. I just don't tolerate. I don't have the time to tolerate silly people. When I've got customers who genuinely love what I do, I need to make stuff for them. So if you're sending me 30 messages and you haven't even placed an order yet, and you're wondering about X, Y, and Z and X, Y, and Z, when everything is listed in the description, because I am that person where I've got my FAQs filled out, my descriptions are fine, my photographs tell you everything you need to know, why are you sending me 30 messages? You're not my person. So get them blocked. If they have placed an order, I will refund them and get them out of the way, because it's just not good for your mental health.
Oh my God, yeah. You can fire customers, guys. You can fire customers. If you have this gut feeling that you're going to send this order out and it's going to be another 15, 20 messages, problem after problem. I had one actually.
You'll get that feeling, won't you? You always have that feeling. You just know that this customer, get rid.
Yeah, I've had them, and I had one recently actually. And I sent out a piece of jewelry, and like about 18 months later, they were like, oh, the clasp is like getting a bit stiff. Could you like do it? And I was just feeling in a good mood, and I was like, yeah, for sure, send it back. Anyway, sent it back, and they literally like they do this now all the time. They're like, every time a little bit gets a little bit, you know, and it's just from overuse. They're not quite using it right, you know. But now I've set those boundaries in place, and that was a mistake that I've made. So now it's like, no, like that's it. Policy is that we're not going to be doing this anymore. Live with it. But you're not mean for doing that. I think going to like target market, if you're getting people like that, they're not your target market, and they don't value what you do.
That's it. They are not your target market, because your real target market will come to your shop. They'll read your descriptions. They'll look at all your pictures. Yeah. They will read your FAQs if they need to. They will read the reviews and they will buy, because they know they've come, they can see this is for me. I know exactly what I need to do. I'm educated that this is the actual size. I'm not expecting anything bigger or smaller. This is the actual size. I've read it. I'll buy it. Perfect. They'll leave a 5-star review. Somebody who is sending you 30 messages will not leave you a 5-star review. They will say, they will be 3 stars or less. If you're lucky that they'll even leave you a review. So no, you have the right to get rid.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like, is it really worth the money from the order? Like, is it really worth the £20, £50, £100 that you're going to get from that order to potentially waste a good, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours, like responding to messages, reviews, issues, whatever.
But you don't just take it out on yourself either. Like, your husband will come on from work and he'll be like, "Hi, have you had a good day?" I'm like, "No, it's been horrific." And you'll be a child to him, and the kids will wind you up, and you'll have like a short fuse with them. So it's just no, it's
not worth it. You've got to put I think this is another one of my points actually, and I haven't written this one down, but I feel like it's really important. You've got to protect the heck out of your mindset and your energy, because people will be there to snap it, to zap it, to take it away from you. They will be what my old boss used to say, a mood hoover.
Yes,
they will mood hoover you.
Who, like, you are kind of like a lovely bubbly person. You got to be like, "Hi, how was your day?" You're like having a like big beaming smile, and you're really interested in the conversation. And by the time, my mum is exactly like this. She only talks about how miserable she is from work and all the hours. And by the time I leave my mum's, I love her to bits, but she's very dramatic. And by the time I leave my mum's, I'm like, she just sucks the energy out of me, because she's always had done by it. And I'm like, this gets me onto my next point, where but you get to go to work.
Yes.
You get to do this. You get to do X, Y, and Z. So you're like, sometimes it's a real nightmare when you've got too many orders. Who doesn't love that, right?
That's a good problem.
It's a good problem to have, right? But it can be quite stressful. But then if you switch your mindset and say, but I get to fulfill these orders.
Yes.
I get to go to the post office. Like, my post office is about 5 miles away, so I have to drive there. And the route to it is beautiful. Like, I go past the lake, I see the cows, I see the swans on the lake. It is beautiful. So I get to go to the post office and post my orders. When it floods, it's a nightmare, and I have to go the long way, boring A-road way around. But I love it. But if you change your mindset and say, I get to do these orders, I get to work from home, I get to spend my days doing this. Like, my dogs are here nearby. Like, I'm working with my dogs, and I can go take them out and do whatever and give them a little stroke when they come past. And it's snoring at the minute. It's quite boring, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm lucky Phoebe's not like dreaming. Last night she was going "Arf, arf, arf," and I thought, don't you dare do that on the podcast tomorrow. Bless her, she's so sweet. But yeah, changing your vocab to I have to I get to.
Yeah, I get to answer emails from customers who have a question, because I've built a business. Or I get to do X, Y, Z. I get to do my taxes at the end of the year, even though they're horrendous, because I've made a successful business that's earning me money. So
it's completely right. It's completely right. And these are mindset shifts that will serve you from all the way up to the 6-figure mark. You know, these are things that you've got to learn, but they do change over time. Like an episode that we filmed, I don't know when that will be out, but you'll find it, where, you know, we're talking all about how to, like, when it's time to like invest and outsource and stuff like that. And it all kind of ties in, because, you know, if you're in that kind of DIY mindset all the time, it's going to get to a point where you don't value your own work. So again, you're going to be changing things all the time, which will confuse things. And yeah, I think that you've just got to really understand that. And again, leads me on to my next point, but you're not going to love your business all the time. And there's going to be times where you're like, I don't like my business today, or this week.
It's such a good point.
And that's normal. Like, that is completely normal. There's been times where I've been like, you know what, stuff this, I'm just gonna, you know, go off and do something else. But you need to just give it at that point. If you've got to that point, then damn girl, you need a break. You need to you need to put the mouse down, turn the PC off, get rid of the app off your phone, and just go for a walk outside for like 2 days straight.
We all start out with the craft that we know that we're really good at and that we do. And it's lovely. But it's not just that you get to do in business. You've got emails and customer messages and, you know, a number of other things. And if they pull you further and further away from actually doing the craft that you want to do, that you know, actually sell, then it's just going to be miserable for you.
Yeah, no, it really, really is. And I just think that we just need to understand that we're not going to love it all the time, and there are going to be aspects of it. And you know, they may be aspects that you look back and you're like, you know what, I still really don't like this. You know, maybe it's not the business, maybe it's an aspect of it. And then that's the aspect that you start to think about, you know, hiring someone to help you with, or hiring an expert to do it well. Because, you know, often what I've found is that if you really, 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 really hate doing something, then usually that's a sign for the things that you need to put your attention into.
Exactly. And if you're hating one thing, the one thing in your business that's really sucking the energy out of you, you really dislike doing, you don't wake up every day and think, oh, I've got to do this. You need to either outsource it or think about, is this actually relevant? Do you need this? Like answering emails, answering customers. Of course, you've got to do that. You need to find a way to do it well. Like you say, set up snippets, saved replies, boundaries, all these that we've mentioned today to protect yourself. But you're not going to love your business.
No.
That's really good.
I think as well, like if you're struggling with doing something in your business, like you really hate it, like I know a lot of people hate doing SEO, right? Let's just use that. So if you're like really hating SEO and you know that you avoid it like the plague, and yet you're complaining that your sales aren't all that good, it's probably a bit of a sign that you need to just spend a week learning about it and really getting into it. Because as human beings, we often enjoy the things that we're good at. So if you get really good at it, chances are you might actually start to find a little twinge of enjoyment when you're doing it. It's like with me, like with the taxes. I know I've mentioned this before, but I dreaded doing taxes, which is why I got an accountant very, very early on. But recently I've started to kind of read kind of like books and get into it, and now I actually quite enjoy it. I wouldn't ever do it myself because I'm always like, have I done this right? But I understand it more, so therefore I'm not as scared of it, so therefore I don't repel it and push it away. See, I'm like that. I have to understand things. Like, I want to know how things work. I don't necessarily want to enjoy doing them. Like you say, taxes. I know I understand enough to put a certain amount of money away each month in order for when it comes round to it, I'm not going to be stressed out. I know that now. I know enough. And that's it. I don't want to spend my life doing that, because that's not what I do. I want to design prints. I want to do this. I don't want to spend my life doing taxes because I'm not an accountant. That's not what I signed up for. But I know enough to understand it, because then it doesn't stress me out. And that's the thing as well about hiring an expert. Like, they're doing that one task that you hate day in, day out because they enjoy it and because they're good at it. Like, you're paying someone to potentially coming in and not only take over an aspect that you don't like, but potentially do it 10 times better than you.
Yeah. Well, we've all figured this out in the pandemic, right? Where we are not teachers. We are not teachers. No. You can go to school and be taught by people who enjoy teaching and being around children 24/7. I'm not that person.
No.
I am not that person. I do not want to teach my own children anything because I do not have the patience for it. God, I just love teachers so much. Yeah. See ya. Not homeschooling ever again.
No, I think probably a lot of people are thinking the same or are probably in the same boat.
Yeah.
Do you want to mention one last point then before we wrap it up?
Yeah. So if you've got a big decision to make, like you're umming and ahhing about a new piece of equipment, or you're umming and ahhing about hiring someone, sleep on it. Wait, don't make huge decisions on a whim. Until you've properly thought about them. You can't stop thinking about it every day. You get that gut feeling like, I want to do something, or I need to buy something, and it's still there in a week, a month. You need to act on it. Because I am quite happy to be like, oh, I've seen this pair of shoes that I want, and then tomorrow I'll see another pair of shoes that I want. Do not make, that's just a really rubbish metaphor, but you get what I mean. Like when I was buying my new computer, right? I know I needed to do new stuff, and I'm thinking, when I had my laptop, I could take that to bed and I would work in bed all night. With my computer, I can't take it to bed. So I get my evenings back, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think if you've got a big decision to make, anything expensive, just sleep on it until you know. Because you don't want to then go and damage your entire business because you've just done something on a whim. You know?
I completely agree. And I think that does, again, tie into a point that I wasn't going to make, but I'm going to make it anyway, is you have to get good at understanding your gut instinct. You have to tune into your body and what it's telling you. I cannot tell you the amount of mistakes that I have made because I haven't trusted my gut, or I've been like, is this like a gut feeling, or is this just me being scared to take the leap? There's a definite difference, and we can go into that in a different episode. I love talking about that because I realized I was making that mistake. So I started to educate myself, read books, take courses on how to get in tune with your body and what it's trying to tell you. So now I really enjoy talking about it. A year ago, I hated talking about it, but you have to get really good at trusting your gut, right? And if you're getting that tickly, tingly, kind of reclusive instinct when you're thinking about doing something, buying something, having something, whatever it is, then the chances are that it's your body trying to tell you something, and you're naturally like repelled against it. Yeah,
your body is so good at telling you. It will tell you when you're burnt out. Because it will make you stop. Whether you like it or not, it will tell you to stop. It will make you stop. You need to listen to your body. I mean, we've got a whole new episode coming on anxiety and stress in business, which is going to be brilliant because I know loads of us suffer with it. And it is completely normal, but there's a difference in being a bit nervous before, like I said, coming on a live chat, or when we interview different previous students from the course, they'll be a bit nervous, but they're not. It's different to having stress and anxiety. It's different, and it's often hard to tell the difference, between the two. But I think one of my biggest things, so like my little starter point to try and recalibrate your instincts, I guess, is that think about a food that you hate, like absolutely despise, to the point where you're like, I cannot stand it. Think of that food and then pay attention to what your body does when you're looking at that food or when you're thinking about that food. And that's the kind of, amplified for sure, but that's the kind of feeling that you're going to get when you're thinking about doing something that your body's like, not really sure about this. Exactly. Whereas think about a food that you really love. Like for me, it's pizza. I could live off
pizza, yeah, forever. But when I think about that, I'm like, oh yeah, like that's how I feel about pizza. Whereas you put like I don't know, pickled like tinned fish in front of me, and I'm like, oh no. And that's the difference. That's how I can tell. So yeah, just like try that at home if you're like, but I don't know how to listen to my gut now. Like I'm aware that it's a problem because I've made errors and stuff in the past. Just try that. Just try thinking of a food that you hate, food that you like, notice the difference.
It's hard though, because as business owners, we kind of like, we do everything for ourselves and we're the boss, and we don't know whether we're doing the right thing. And listening to our gut is like, is this a gut feeling to tell me that it's going to be a really good decision? Or is it a gut feeling that's going to tell me that this is the worst decision I'm ever going to make in my life? And it's hard. So having a support group is really good as well, with like-minded people. So if you ever want to come and join our Facebook group, we're at Handmade Bosses on Facebook, we will give you no nonsense, advice. We will tell you if it's a good thing, a bad thing, and help you weigh up your options.
Yes.
The Facebook group is a really awesome place to be. There's some amazing people there. So if you're on your own in this world, making a handmade craft business, you need a support network. So come and join us. We don't bite.
Absolutely. And on that note, shall we wrap up the episode? So the Facebook group mentioned is in the show notes below if you want to come and join us. We also have the Instagram as well, where we do lots of stuff in there, don't we? IGTVs, stories and behind the scenes and all that good stuff. We also have a masterclass for you. So if you have an Etsy shop and you're like, oh, I want to kick this up again, then you definitely want to go and look at that masterclass. It's the 3-step framework to skyrocket your Etsy conversion rate, which, as we know, is the king on Etsy. If you want to be shown on page 1, get that conversion rate up. And also there'll be lots of other good stuff in the show notes as well. Be sure to follow us on your various podcast platform, whether you're on Spotify, iTunes, podcast, whatever you're doing it on. Be sure to do that. And we will catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone.
See you soon.
We really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to check the show notes for some more helpful links, and also a link to our website as well. Also, you can watch the video version of this over on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to get your free spot on our masterclass, the 3-step framework to skyrocket your Etsy conversion rate, at handmadebosses.com/conversion. That's handmadebosses.com/conversion. We would also love it if you could leave us a review on iTunes, as it really helps us to reach more bosses in need. Subscribe to the show, and we will see you on the next episode.